So a U.S. intelligence report on the 2018 murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi could be released today. It will reportedly link Saudi Arabia's crown prince to the writer's death. The potential release comes as tensions are escalating between Riyadh and Washington. Weijia Jiang reports.
A security camera captured the last time journalist Jamal Khashoggi was seen alive, entering the Saudi consulate in Istanbul in October 2018, where he was killed and dismembered by a hit squad, his fiancée waiting unknowingly outside.
He was my best friend. He was the love of my life.
Khashoggi was a fierce critic of Saudi leadership, and the murderers were linked to Saudi Arabia's crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, who rules Saudi Arabia on behalf of his father, the king. He denied knowing about the operation to CBS Evening News anchor and managing editor Norah O'Donnell during an interview for 60 Minutes.
How did you not know about this operation?
Some think that I should know what 3 million people working for the Saudi government do daily. It's impossible that the 3 million would send their daily reports to the leader or the second highest person in the Saudi government.
But in 2018, the CIA assessed that not only did the crown prince know about the killing, he ordered Khashoggi's execution. The murder led to international outrage. Former President Trump sanctioned 17 Saudis for Khashoggi's murder, but he did not broadly punish the crown prince or Saudi Arabia, a strategic ally for the United States.
So Weijia is joining us now from the White House to tell us more about the expected release of this report. Weijia, the Trump administration refused to release a declassified version of this report. The Biden administration has said that it plans to recalibrate the U.S. relationship with Saudi Arabia. Can you remind us of what the relationship had been like between Saudi Arabia and the U.S. under the previous administration?
Well, it was very cozy. I mean, President Trump, even after the intelligence community assessed that it looked like the crown prince did, in fact, order the hit on Khashoggi, he issued a statement saying maybe he had knowledge of what happened and maybe he did not. And that is because he says that Mohammed bin Salman insisted that he did not know about it. And we also know that not only did former President Trump not punish the crown prince and Saudi Arabia more broadly, but he rewarded them. He continued to work closely with them, and he, sealed a massive arms deal with the kingdom. And so, it was very clear by all accounts, not only in what he was saying, but in actions, that they had an extremely close relationship despite what had happened to this journalist. I mean, the president received so much criticism for refusing to go after the kingdom for its human rights abuses. And we should also point out that his closest senior advisor and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, was especially friendly with the crown prince, and the two met quite often.
Biden told reporters yesterday that he expected to speak with Saudi's King Salman soon. I think it was maybe last week that Jen Psaki was asked about whether or not he would be speaking with the Crown Prince, and she responded by saying something to the essentially that the king is Biden's counterpart and not the Crown Prince. How are we to take that, and why isn't he speaking to the Crown Prince when clearly the previous administration spent a lot of time negotiating with the Crown Prince?
Well, this is an important signal, right, that they are downgrading the relationship between the crown prince himself and the administration, because Mohammed bin Salman is essentially the de facto ruler, and he, is in charge of that kingdom on behalf of his 85-year-old father. So it is quite a departure for the Biden administration to say that the president will not deal with him and that he will only deal with King Salman, who, again, we should stress, is aging and has not had this central role for quite some time, as his son has been the leader. And so, the White House has made very clear, and the president himself, that he will only be speaking directly to the king. But we should point out that the Secretary of Defense has had a conversation with the Crown Prince. So it's not that the administration is not dealing with him at all. It's more of who is talking to who. And in this case, we do expect President Biden to speak with King Salman sometime very soon.
Part of President Biden's shift in foreign policy includes halting U.S. government support for a Saudi-led coalition fighting in Yemen. What sort of impact is this likely to have in the region?
Well, the hope is that it will save lives in Yemen because it has become a humanitarian crisis there. This war has killed 100,000 people, more than that actually. And so because of what has unfolded, especially to civilians, that is why the U.S. is withdrawing support of Saudi Arabia and did end that support and any further arms sales to Saudi Arabia. But what's important here is striking a delicate balance, because the administration also said that they will continue to support Saudi Arabia as a strategic base in the region. And remember, they are an important ally in the fight against terrorism, especially when it comes to Iran. And so it is a complicated situation all around here. The president wants to be tough on the kingdom because of the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, but he also has to be careful because, these two nations rely on each other with the same goal, which again is to curb terrorism.
Indeed. Weijia, thank you very much.
Sure.